Hey guys, this is Corey, owner of Strat. I was supposed to go live today, but my son has a basketball game, and I'm just going to go ahead and do a recording of what I was going to teach tonight. It's the same thing. It's going to be private. I'm going to upload it privately and put a link. If you got somebody that wants to kind of see it and kind of get an idea of what's going on. But this is going to be really helpful. Just this video alone, you should watch it a couple times. That way, you can watch it before you day trade or the night before, and kind of use it as a tool to kind of help you get through everything. So the first thing I'm going to go over is top-down analysis. If you wake up every single day, and if you wake up every single day and you start out in the 1 minute time frame, or if you're in the 5 minute time frame, you have no idea what's going on. So you got all this. So if you pull up this right here, obviously we went down this morning, and then it went up, and you're like, oh gosh, the stock market's going up. It's going to the moon, is what you would hear online. Not knowing that we're in some serious consolidation here, where it's just going sideways. It makes it really hard for trading. But if you start from the bottom, then it's going to be really hard to trade. Every single day you should at least have the daily. Here, I'll just go ahead and update mine. So I have the monthly and weekly. You don't necessarily need that for day trading. I use that for kind of like entries, like for like 3, 6, 12 months out. But let's say you got the daily, the hourly, the 30-minute, the 15-minute, and 5-minute. And so every single day you need to be like, okay, cool. So look, we got 3 points going like right here. I mean, you could even draw a small box, kind of like Orange Crush, but not really. But you got this right here. So this is a point where all 4 areas have came up and been rejected. So if you're in the 5-minute time frame and you see it creeping up in here, you're like, oh gosh, I better not. It's kind of risky to go long here. A lot of times you may get to like right here, and then we're getting kind of close. Go ahead and sell. And if it takes off, it does. But if you made money, who cares? And we kind of got 1, 2, 3 areas right here. You can put this green. So now we got a box right here. And to be honest with you, I don't necessarily do that. I'll show you what I do. So what I'll do is I'll actually just draw a box from this right here, right there. So it's staying within this box. If it starts getting out of it, if it starts getting to the up here, or if it starts getting right here, it's obviously in a spot where buyers are stepping in down here and sellers are stepping in this area. Just go ahead and put it right there. Okay. I don't need to have a background. Okay, so now we're in this consolidation box right here. Now, if we were, if it was in this motion right here, if it's going down like this, it's really, if the market is going this way, but if you're on the 1 minute time frame or 5 minute time frame and it's going up, it's technically not smart to do calls. A lot of people will use like the 21 EMA, which you can. So let's say like this. So to see this white line right here, white line. So if price is below this, it's technically a downtrend. And anytime that price is too far away upwards, that means it's oversold. So if you ever see a price that's like really far away from this white line, it's really oversold. Now, if this would have held right here and then blew up past out of here, that'd been a buy option. So, but now that we're in consolidation on the daily time frame, this right here is not to be trusted. It says it's going down. It says it's going up. That's what consolidation is. It's just it's tough. People lose money. You could be the greatest trader in the world, and in these kind of conditions, it's so hard to make money. It's whenever this right here, this motion right here, that is where we make our money right there. When it comes down, we're making money. When it goes up, it's making money. When it's going down, we're making money. Going up, making money all the way up here. And then, as you see, like around like Christmas and stuff right there, we're more moving sideways than we are going up and down. So, in order for us to really just make a bunch of money, we need the market to be going like this. Now, you'll hear me say, so let's take gold for instance. Okay. So, gold is moving up, down, and going up, down. And as you see, does this look familiar right here? That's because they just did it right here. So, could this continue to go up? It sure could. Does it mean it's going to? I'm not really sure. Nobody really knows. But, right here, it's moving sideways. Now it's moving sideways in this box right here. Did it come down? Yeah, but it was a rejection, so it came back up, and now we're just kind of in this box. So, gold's, until it breaks out of this box, it's really not to be it's not really to be trusted. It's really hard to trade SPY, but SPY is a little bit it's consolidating in a $20 to $30 zone right here. But anyways, so obviously, so this is consolidating. You need to keep that in mind every day when you're coming in. So now we're going to go down to the 1 hour time frame. Okay. Now look at this box. Look at all this. Yeah. Once I learned all this, it felt really good because I was like, man, this makes total sense. When I first started, obviously when I first started, I didn't really have a laptop, but which is like in 2014. But when I really started getting things, I would always start with like a 15-minute time frame, 5, and I never really knew until I was shown this. But as of right now, so like we're looking at the 1 hour time frame, and obviously you see that there's a gap here, there's a gap there, which obviously came down. There's a gap here, which was filled right here. There's a gap that filled it. There's a gap down. It came up, filled it, went up higher, crashed down. So that's just a very choppy market right here. You don't need no indicator to tell you this, to know we're in chop zones. Chop, it feels like, all right, so we're going up, but it doesn't really, it's a whole lot of work. So imagine just be like, okay, so now you got people just going up and down, up and down, up and down, and you really just don't know which way to go. If it goes up, it may reverse down. If it goes down, it may reverse up, and it's very unpredictable. The best traders in the world lose money here. So if you've lost some money in the last week or two, don't feel bad. I've been stepping in and out. I've been focusing more on building the Alpha Strat's company side of things. Um, but anyways, so now that we're in the 1 hour time frame, we kind of get an idea of where we are in this consolidation box. If you decide to trade this, if it's consolidating, if you normally trade with like 5 contracts, trade with 1 contract. That way, if it doesn't go your way, you don't blow your account. It's not fun. But anyways, so as most of you seen that, we came down first thing in the morning and then it blew up. Why is that? Well, there's a reason why it went up. Because there's demand, supply and demand. So see how this red candle in the 1 hour time frame, not the 30, not the 15, but the 1 hour time frame. See how this red box engulfed this? You'll take this and you draw a box. Sometimes I'll put it red. And let's go down to the 5. So this is where I drew that box. So you can't see these kind of things in the 5-minute time frame. This is where I drew that box. Okay. So this looks nothing like what I just showed you. See? You would have never seen this in the lower time frame. So you go down to the 5-minute. Check this out. It comes up, comes down, comes up, comes down, goes inside the box, and then comes down. So what that means is whenever you see this, so let's say you had no idea with what I just showed you, and you got the 5-minute time frame, and so I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna reverse this to here. So this is Friday, okay? Speed this up. Oh, we're going to the moon. That's what people are thinking. People are like, oh my gosh, bias turned around. We're going to make new all-time highs. I mean, you hear all kinds of stuff. Best thing to do is just ignoring all that stuff. So when it comes down from 677 to 687, that grabs people's attention. Okay? Well, little did they know that the banks were creating a zone for them to hit on Tuesday, which is right here. If you had no idea about this, you would have never known. Okay, so now we got a box. We'll go on the 15-minute time frame. Here, everybody's just gonna have a good old President's Day weekend. Everybody's taking the days off while the banks are planning. Morning time. Look, it crashed it. You're gonna come up here, grab this area, and come back down. So why do they do that? So what happens is they come up, and people think it's going to go up, so they buy shares, they buy calls, and what happens is the banks will yank it down from here to here. Okay, that's like $7 or $8. Okay, there's people that have lost thousands of dollars sitting right here, and when you're looking at this green candle right here and this right here, the wicks is the damage, and this is where shares are being held. So this lets us know that there's people that have shares right here. So when they come up, when they bring it down and they bring it back up, they're going to think the market's going to continue going down. Instead of losing more money, they're going to sell their shares off, and then the banks can collect those shares. So now that we got that, okay, so you can find supply and demand in the 1 hour time frame. Right there. Let's see. We got a little bit of a supply and demand here. It's small. It's a bigger one, but as you can see, it came down to it. There it was right here. It comes down to it. So that shows you right here that price will go to supply and demand. That is what makes the stock market move, is shares, liquidity, volume. But I've always been taught that the 1 hour time frame is the best one to go with as far as day trading goes. And but then you're like, okay, so Corey, why do we need an indicator? Okay, so let's say we go down to so we're doing the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so indicators are great tools. Are they accurate 100%? There's not a indicator out there that is 100% accurate. Now, the best indicators in the world are quicker to react to the market movements. So some that are not well designed are lagging. So, but that's not our case. We've got a really good machine here. But I was going to tell you guys, this is a trend here. Okay, it's going down. See, it's all red, and I do that, but for people that focus on when they're learning, instead of the green, red, they know that the trend is still going up, even though the candles are green, red. It just creates more confusion. One thing about this is it helps you, it's going up. So as long as you buy in a good zone and it's going up, you're going to make money. You'll make even more money whenever you learn stuff like this. In order to do that, you've got to turn this off, make your zones, and then you can go down to the 15-minute time frame. Okay, so this came down. We were in a red downtrend. Came up. That changed. And, we got the 15-minute time frame here, and it went up, went to that zone, came back down to this white line. That's a very important line. This white line right here will make you a bunch of money. So let's go down to the 5-minute time frame. Okay. Now you're like, okay, Corey, so why is it so choppy right here? Well, it's because we're in a sideways market. We're chopping. It's not going to be a really smooth ride. This is why people lose money, is because there's nothing there to make a trend, a strong trend, So the best way to make money in a situation like this would maybe, I don't always recommend it, but maybe like a 2-minute time frame. So we came down and came down right here, comes down right here. So just what you really want to really focus on is whenever it comes too far from this white line, it means it's oversold or it's too expensive, and it's always going to gravitate to this white line. Now, what I'm seeing here is, so let's turn this off. Well, let's see. I don't know if I can turn the bars off. There we go. Okay. So if y'all ever don't want the blue, and when you do start learning how to do all this, it is you can always turn the bars off and then still use the alpha strat squeeze. So one thing you want to look for is when price does come back down, what does the next candle do? So it comes down right here, and it doesn't really do nothing. So it pops back up, but people don't, if they're not trained, if they don't know this, they won't know. Okay, so it comes down, and I don't see an engulfing candle here. This pops up really weak. So it pops up, comes back down. Okay, well, Corey, it's going back to the white line. Is this another buy? It's definitely not. So look at this. So we got here, and then we got here. So what does that mean? That means a lower high. So whenever it's making lower highs, it's getting ready to come back down. So we got lower high, higher high, lower high. So reason why, if you're like, Corey, why did it make a higher high? Well, we're in a 2-minute time frame here. It's better to do it on the 5-minute. I want to say one of the guys, he made $500 today on 5-minute time frame. That is killer. That's so awesome. Congratulations. I bet that feels really good. But see, this is the same area that we just looked at on the 2-minute time frame. So the 2-minute time frame's quick. It's you gotta be quick, you gotta be fast. So what I'm looking for is this right here. So it came up right here, this red candle formed, and then boom, look at this, beautiful. That is a engulfing candle, the same thing that we seen on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so look at this. That is a buy for me. I would have bought right here. I would not have bought down here. What I'm looking for is for price to be at this white line and shoot up and engulf this. Okay. Price is going up, up. It's going sideways, going up, 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 boom. So this right here is where technically, if you're like me or Greg, we would have sized in big enough to where we could have made our money here. But let's just say, so we're in a chop zone, we're doing one contract, and so we got to let our play ride a little bit longer to meet our goals. So this would have popped up, came up, started going sideways. I technically would have sold as soon as it started doing this. But if you're brave, because technically, see how far this is away from the white line? That's that's too expensive. And anybody that knows about this white line knows that it's too expensive. So it's gravitating back, it's coming back down. But as you see, but you're like, hey Corey, look at this. Same thing. Well, it don't matter here. So if you see this right here, it does not matter because that is in the middle of a move. We're looking for areas of like right here, in supporting support resistance zones. So pretty much what this is happening is it's chopping up, up, Boom. I would have sold right here if you did not sell anywhere here, because this red candle engulfed this, comes down, and as you see, this same thing right here did not happen right here. Comes up, comes down, comes up, comes down. It's going sideways, comes all the way down. Let's see. Chop, chop. Let's see. Comes over. You know, these are just not very good strong moves. We're in a down, we're kind of in a sideways downtrend. I probably would have, I don't know, it'd have been tough. If I didn't have this blue diamond to tell me, there's nothing here telling me, hey, Corey, buy this. But thank goodness we got the indicator to tell us these kind of things, because, what it sees behind, behind all the screens and everything is, way different than what we can see. But so right here on the 5-minute time frame, we did get a move up. So see how the white line is above price right here? So it engulfed it here, engulfed it. So that's a buy right there on the 5-minute time frame, not the 2-minute. So you're going to get some crazy things on the lower time frame. But so this engulfed it, moves up, and look at this, comes up to this this red zone right here that we made on the 1 hour time frame. So it comes back down to this dotted line, comes back up, rejects, double top. Now we're coming back down. But you could have easily made money here and made money here. But yeah, I hope you guys learned some stuff on that. It's very powerful, very important. One other thing is I want to show you guys, like on the 15-minute right here. So anytime, so this is the 15-minute zone right here. Okay. Whenever the orange crush is on, okay, that means that, so there's two different types of orbs. There's a 15-minute orb and then there's a 30-minute orb. What I created was the 15-minute orb creates, and if there's anything between the 15 and 30-minute orbs, it will track the next 15 minutes from the bottom or the top. So this is a 30-minute orb, and then this is the 15-minute orb. So this comes back down, and it says short. Okay. Now, if you would have bought here, and it goes back up, and you're like, oh my gosh, if you're on this candle right here, so it comes back down, rejects. Technically, it should have continued going down, but we're in a choppy market. So a lot of times what I will do is I will go to the 15-minute time frame, and as you see, this 15-minute bar was like right here, and then on the last 10 to 15 to 20 seconds, it sucked back up in there. I knew right then and there that it was a fake out. I would have known that if I didn't go to the 15-minute time frame, or the 5-minute, 15, but if I was on the 5 and didn't, you get the point. But comes down, goes back up, comes back down, and then what do we have right here? What I showed you guys on the 1 hour time frame. But we're in the 5-minute time frame, you ask. Well, that's okay. But these are they still have these supply and demand zones in the lower time frames. They just don't carry as much weight. So everybody thought price was going down. The banks and everybody else had a different plan. So, and that's because they were wanting to go up to that zone, which is up here. So look at this. Boom. Engulfing candle shoots up, comes up to the 21 EMA right here, that white zone. And, let's say you did buy this, and you're like, okay, cool. So we rejected that is an A+ setup, guys. This is a A+ setup on the 5-minute time frame. If you lost money here, that is okay. You did exactly what you were supposed to do. This is an A+ setup. I guarantee you, tons of people took this trade today. If they did this kind of orb trading, but that is an A+ setup. That screams, hey, we're not only did it close under it, but it went in and rejected it. This is just manipulation, guys. So it comes back up, hits the 21 EMA, comes down, shoots up, shoots up, shoots up. So let's say you did short this. Your stop loss would have been the second this 5-minute candle closed inside this orange box. Or let's say price went above it right here. Let's say price went up, came down, up. The second a candle closes inside this orb, or inside this orange box, whether it's up or down, the second it closes, it's time to get out. But Corey, I just lost $20, or hey Corey, I lost $50. But it's better than losing $400, because as you can see, what happens? It goes all the way up. That is a $10 move. Eventually, yeah. So keep that in mind, guys. Shoots up, does the same thing here, comes down, does it right here, boom. Does it again right here. This engulfed this one, comes back down, and now they're just playing with some people until the end of the market close. So, but anyways, guys, that's all I really have for you guys tonight. That is a really in-depth training right there. It took me a long time to figure it out, so I would watch it more than 1 or 2 times. I'd pull up and kind of just pull up the chart, pull up the video, and kind of play it back and forth. But while I got you here, I'm going to show y'all some cool stuff that I'm working on. So let's see, we got the gold fib channel. Cool. Alrighty. So look at this, guys. So this is a little bit different than the Alpha Strat Squeeze Pro. So this is a Fibonacci band that I created. So Fibonacci is very important if you ever heard anybody talk about it. Technically, this is what I build here in the 15-minute orb is a fib retracement. So this is the top of the fib, bottom fib, 50% fib. So this bottom line right here, it tracks the algorithm from 70 bars prior. So if price is right here, it's not collecting data from here. It's like way over here. So it's creating an algorithm for price movement. So this top one is actually the 0.382 fib retracement. and this bottom is the 0.5. And and anybody that knows how important that is, let's go to Palantir. I was looking at that yesterday. Palantir. And so let's go with the monthly time frame. So let's see. Let's go to the daily. Yeah, there we go. So anytime price movement is going into a strong direction, the 0.32, 0.382 and 0.5 are really important levels. I personally like it on the higher time frame, like the monthly, because it really respects these levels. So if you could ever catch, so like let's say price is coming up right here on the, let's say it came up and then look at this. If you would have bought this at $21 and then it just shoots up to 125, then comes back down, touches that zone again, and then the next stop is 207. Look at this. Where's it going next? I have no idea. If it holds this zone right here, I mean, but what are we looking for, Corey? What are we looking for confirmation? We're looking for this. Okay. We're looking for this. We're looking for this. In this zone. We're not looking for it. Technically, that's still a little bit too far, but considering how much the candle moved up, we'll let that slide. Because it did come down, and just so happens it did come up and engulf it. So the higher time frame just carries more weight. But that is one thing I will be eventually adding. I expect this right here to make people a bunch of money on that. As I get more busier, I'm kind of leaning more towards the bigger time frames. That way I can just buy something here and just sell it here without even paying attention to it. That's just free money right there. Why wait? Why chart the 5 minute and 1 minute time frame every single day when I can just buy here, and that's a $60 move right there. So let me show you another thing that I've got built. Is this right here. So this is volume on those areas. So this will tell you where the most sellers are sitting at. There's 3.6 billion in shorts here. There's 4.424 billion in buyers right here. So price naturally gravitates to these areas. As you can see, not very many people were buying it up here, even though it kept going up, which is a total lie. But if we had this, even if it was up, we know the truth. It's right here. We know that that's too high. This is where we might see Palantir come back down too. $77 level. Eventually, we'll see. I mean, you look here, look at that. Shoots right up. Now, I'm going to do this live, guys. Right there. So now we know right here, which just so happens, look at this. That green zone I just drew up right there. Right there. Where that engulfing candle is. Isn't that strange? But anyways, guys, I'm not here to keep dragging this on. I just kind of want to show you a couple new tools that I may be adding. You can use this on the 15 and 5 minute time frame. I haven't really seen anything like this. So, this right here would have been a buy zone right here. Came down, it popped back up. If you would have bought this here, you could have sold right there. Same thing right here. Comes up, comes down. Right there. Comes up, shoots up. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 20 minutes. Or actually, that's an hour. Right there. But hey, it's money. You can do this on the 15. It doesn't hold as much on the 15. I mean, it will in strong trends like this right here. So bounced up, came down, could have bought here, bought it here, money. Same thing, money right here. And if it turns blue like this, that means it's wanting to be bearish. It hasn't really turned bullish yet. If it goes from this to this, that means it's turning bearish. Comes down, comes up, boom. That easy. I say that, but I mean it's the easiest, hardest job in the world. So, anyways, guys, that's all I'm going to be teaching today. I feel like this is what I showed you today is better than anything that we have done on live recordings. This is almost 45 minutes of pure teaching. So you should be able to watch this 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 times. And this video alone right here will make you a better trader, will push you farther than most people. If two people started the same day and you watch this video and they didn't, you are probably 6 months ahead of them, if not a year. Because that right here is really good knowledge what I just showed you guys. And it's industry secrets. I mean, a lot of people don't like sharing these kind of secrets because it's, people like to hold this kind of information. Look at this. Boom. So, alrighty, guys. Hope you guys have a good rest of the day. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning in the Discord and get ready. So, alright, bye.